Vlog 1, take 3. I'm gonna try to run through the whole thing this time, all at once. Hopefully I have a little bit more energy. I can engage in the viewer. Engage in the viewer. Okay, so if you follow me on anything, you probably know that I freaking thrift all the time. I'm there 5 days a week. It's open 4 days a week. Like I'm freaking always there. But why have I been thrifting? Who wants to dedicate their life to living at a thrift store whenever there's perfectly good stuff everywhere else? So other people, they go to the thrift stores because they want to find like vintage merch, band tees, maybe some random brands like Patagonia, all like the expensive stuff. You find it on the low. It's cool. It's like everything you could need is there if you're into clothes. But the reason I'm doing it is, that stuff is cool. If I'm there and I see those things, I'm gonna grab them. I'll buy it. It's on the low. Why not, right? But the ultimate reason that I'm thrifting all the time, freaking living at the thrifts, making a resale business out of it, is because I want to learn about the clothing market so that I could eventually own a clothing brand. And I know it's a small step for a like ambitious goal that I have, but I feel like this is the only type of business that I want to own for myself. I think there's other great opportunities, ways of making more money, better businesses to be in, but this is what I want to do because this is something I'm interested in, and I want to make a business out of something that I have interest in, not something that's going to make me the most money or something that's not like anything else to me. So I'm thrifting because I want to create a clothing brand, but I think that's first going to look like me owning a business, like a simple business, a resale business, to where I can make it sustainable. I can make sure it's profitable, make sure I'm running the ins and outs of it smoothly, maybe hiring a few people if I'm making enough reselling, which I think I can after I like crunch the numbers. It's theoretically possible to do that. So yeah, whenever I'm at the thrift stores, I'm picking up the vintage merch. I'm picking up the brands like Patagonia and any of the other major brands I could find to resell, just for the sake of money or collecting them for myself. But what I'm also doing, which I think a lot of resellers don't really do, because maybe they're not into this, is I'm finding materials, I'm finding patterns, I'm finding textures, maybe silhouettes that I could use as inspiration, or to learn about, the different things, where they came from, just like the clothing in general, so that way I can get a better grasp and understanding on creating clothing and what finished pieces that I like look like, and they're for cheap, so I'm not spending thousands of dollars trying to learn or gain this information. And then plus, since I'm reselling it throughout the year, I'm learning about the market and the trends and the seasons and how all of that stuff works together. So yeah, I'm reselling to eventually learn how to manage a business and hopefully eventually a clothing brand. But this video is just going to be the beginning of a segment within my broader channel, and the next video is going to be it's going to be explaining the reason behind the whole channel, and it's going to be an insight into the bigger vision behind the whole thing. So for this segment, I was thinking about naming it maybe like resell to retail, because that's what I want to do. I want to resell clothes and eventually be in the retail market for clothes. So I don't know. That's sort of just like something I've been thinking about. So yeah, like the way I said, I want to show the process of starting off as a resale brand for clothing, and then eventually making my way into a retail clothing brand. And then like really ambitious, it'd be cool to be a luxury clothing brand, but I know that takes a lot of work. And so this is like a 10-year goal I have for myself. And so it's just working on it day to day, and worst comes to worst, I think you at least become a small clothing brand within 10 years. So I want to do this to document the journey for my future self, to see maybe in 10 years, 20 years, where I get, how far along I get in the journey, the highs and lows. And I want this to be a 10-year goal because, like I said, there's not really anything else I'd rather do as a business or own as a business. So this is going to be for my future self to look back on, reflect on, see the ins and outs of where I was. Instead of having to go back and read all my journals that I write in about stuff, this is going to be strictly about the business, um, a video blog, you know, a vlog. Um, and then plus, I want this to be an inspiration or maybe insight for anybody else that wants to do something similar, like own a brand, whether it's for clothing or anything else. Just maybe a simple, low-cost way to start the journey, to take the journey. I think it's a unique take of how to become a brand by starting off reselling. Okay, for now I'm gonna resell clothes, to learn the ins and outs of the clothing market, owning a very small business, growing it into something that's a little bit bigger, so that way I can take my steps towards creating a bigger clothing brand that I maybe could compete on a national level. Ambitious, but sounds exciting. Sort of like the only thing I want to do. And yeah, I just want to document the process of the whole journey for myself and for anybody else it could help.